Staying tuned is still the conversation here on Lagos Television. Of course, it's the Friday edition of the show. The video you just watched, of course, is the video of our guest on the program this morning. And what a way to welcome her into the studio this morning. Of course, that video we just saw titled Devil You Lost. I hope I'm correct. She will correct me if I'm not when she comes in now. Of course, she will tell us more about that song and, of course, why she chose gospel as, her own kind of music. Our guest this morning, she's a gospel artist, she's a lyricist, she's a worship leader, she's a youth advocate. Of course, she's a powerful woman. When you put all of those things together, but rest assured, there is a message. Join us this morning as we welcome Daytohun Ogunremi, though of course she's known as Daytohun. There's an H in that. Of course, she will tell us in a bit how that also came about. Daytohun, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you
doing? Thank you
Very
for
well,
having
thank
me.
you. All right, Daytohun is joining us from Canada this morning, so you should actually be sleeping now.
Well, we work 24 hours.
Okay, all right. That's it. Right, so let's get into it. Of course, Daytohun is a Yoruba name, and ordinarily it is spelled without the H. But why did you choose to add the H in your Daytohun?
Thing is, I love my name so much.
Okay.
A lot of pride in it. But when you want to have a stage name, and I didn't want to change the pronunciation, I didn't want to change the name as a whole, but I wanted people to be able to still pronounce Daytohun. I just thought about that. Just switch it up a little bit. You still have the same name, same pronunciation, but just different look.
Different look, different spelling, okay? And a bit of, just combining that. Right, so you do gospel music. And, of course, when we ask many people who've been on this show, when you ask them, how did you start singing? Or did you find, singing? And many will say, oh, no, I probably started singing from the church. I started singing from the bathroom. Take us through your history or your story. What happened? At what point did you realize, okay, it looks like I can actually sing?
That's quite a long story, but I would try to summarize it as much as possible.
Okay.
So I used to sing in the choir when I was about 7 years old.
Okay.
It was a Baptist church in Surulere at the time. And I used to sing a lot. I come from a singing family. My mom's family used to sing a lot. And then I lost my mom.
Oh, wow.
And when I lost my mom, because we used to sing together, when I lost my mom, I lost the courage or the passion to sing along with her for a very long time. But as life went on, things got tighter, challenges came here and there, and I found solace in music. I found solace in singing. So when I'm like doing my laundry or just doing house chores, I found that everything felt better while singing.
Okay.
So I started going back to singing in the choir, started going back to making a little bit of music here and there. And here we are today. Music drives me, music helps me move along.
Okay. So you are a worship leader, you are a lyricist. And so what differentiates, with all those qualities, what differentiates you from, other gospel artists? Again, I'm sure that you'd also look at this also making you an all-rounder. So you've been a lyricist, you've been a worship leader, as well as you've been an artist. So what differentiates Daytohun from other gospel artists out there?
Okay, the first thing I would say is we know that when we go to church, there's a certain position of praise and worship, how the music goes, how it flows. But when we go to our circular events, those same kind of music would only fit in for a period of time before people start getting bored or just sitting down. For me, my kind of music is Afro gospel, and I believe that it helps us to still have the same Christian community, Christian vibe, gospel community in our circular events like our weddings, our birthday parties. We can afford to enjoy Dayton's kind of music when we are at events without flowing into other sectors of music. So I feel that's the difference with my music and the music that we have from other gospel artists.
Is that deliberate though? I mean, by asking that, and then since you explains that you still want your audience to feel the vibe, but of course listening to something more edifying, if if I can use that word. And so when you think that way, which then becomes more important to you? Would it be the lyrics or the rhythm?
Both are quite important because the rhythm is important because we want to dance, we want to be happy, we want to still be able to vibe to the music. And the lyrics is the reason we're trying to make that kind of music. If it's just the rhythm, we could listen to any song. But because we're also trying to make sure that our lyrics are clean, our lyrics are still edifying God and edifying us as His children, I feel both lyrics and the rhythm are both equally important.
Okay, so why Afro gospel? Because I heard you say that earlier that your choice of genre is Afro gospel. So why Afro gospel? Because again, other you might find people arguing with you that as much as you're trying to convey a message with your music, why are you doing it in a secular, using the secular mode, talking about the rhythm, talking about the kind of genre that you've chosen. So why Afro? Why Afro gospel?
Okay. Thing is, we're evolving.
Okay.
As the human race generally, we're evolving. There was a certain time we used to listen to a kind of slow-paced music. That was what was raining at the time. And whatever is raining at this time, everybody likes a little bit of Afrobeat. Even when you look at the little nursery rhymes that we have in schools now, they're adding a little bit of Afrobeat to it. When we look at other countries, other cultures, they're trying to add Afrobeat because that is the vibe everyone wants to listen to. That is the vibe that connects with us, that makes us move a little bit here and there. So, and since I also like that vibe, why not?
Why not target?
Just,
Why not just have find a balance
yes.
in both? All right. So take us through your songwriting process. Do you write all your songs? What inspires you to write? And do you create your bits by yourself, or do you just write and then someone else creates your bits, or do you do both? Or sometimes do you just have an idea of the melody in your head and then you create lyrics that will match the melody?
Okay, so depending on the song, I usually write all my lyrics, and it's usually based off what I've passed through in life, what life has shown me, and what how God has saved me many, many times. For the rhythm and the beats, for the beats making, I have my music producer, Papa Sam. He's awesome. He sometimes we just I give him the lyrics and I'm like, this is what I have, and he works with it like, oh, I have the perfect beats for you.
Okay.
And other times it's like, Dayton, I have this beat for you. I need you to make lyrics to this.
Okay.
So it depends on what's happening at the time.
Right.
But usually, either I send the lyrics to him and he gives me a beat that goes with it, or he sends a beat to me and says, I have a beat for you, which is more often than not, he says, I have a beat for you, and then I just make lyrics to it.
Okay, so how often do you agree, I mean, your producer and yourself, on the kind of bits that best goes with a song? Because again, sometimes you are the one who writes the lyrics, and so probably also you are in a place in your mind or in your head how you actually want this to come through, or the kind of impact you'd like for this song to have on your audience. And so how often do you juggle between finally settling for a bit which has been either sent to you or which you also just have in your mind but by yourself?
Okay, so my producer is very flexible.
Okay.
And whenever I try to send lyrics to him, the first thing I say is, "This is what I feel. This is I feel this song should be slow paced. I feel this song should be fast. I need it to be like in a piano style. I want it to be, then I could send him a song that I had listened to and I liked the beat. And I'm like, I like this bit,
Okay.
but I want something in that line,
Okay.
and he can say, okay, I'll narrate something along that line. He's very flexible, and he works with me most of the time, 100%
Okay.
of the time, actually.
Right. So when we look at lyrics and rhythm in gospel music, how would you assess how gospel artists generally are performing, especially vis-a-vis the fact that gospel music sometimes shouldn't be all about entertainment. There's a message that you're trying to pass across. And like you did say a moment ago, sometimes majority of your songs are through life experiences or things that you've known others to have passed through or gone through. So when you see gospel artists like yourself, what are the things that you expect? The kind of impact that really you expect gospel music, to have on your audience generally? And would you say that, not Daytohun now, would you say that gospel artists generally are matching up to their calling of, being a gospel artist, or are people just doing it for the sakes of wanting to just sing?
I believe that, like you mentioned, a lot of people have different callings. A bunch of people have the capacity to lead an awesome worship session in church,
Okay.
at events, worship events, praise events. But when we look back a little bit, I feel that we are ignoring the teenagers, the young adults that want to be Christians but want to vibe. And because they're trying so hard, they have to pretend to align with what we're giving to them. Yes, we're still praising God. Yes, we're still edifying the Spirit of God in our music, in our lyrics, in our dances. But at the same time, we are still happy. We are not pretending. We can be who we want to be.
Okay.
We're not pretending in doing all of that. So yes, some people do have the calling to lead an awesome praise session, an awesome worship session. But what happens when our 16-year-olds and our 19-year-olds and our 21-year-olds or young adults want to have a party and they're trying to still make it clean, or when someone wants to get married and they're trying to make it clean? It's kind of difficult. So for me, that's why that's my niche. I have a bunch of them. Like I told my kids many years ago, I was like, let's try to listen to clean music. And they're like, but mommy, where's the music? What's the song we want to listen to?
Okay.
Look at the beat. It's nice though for praise and worship, but what happens when we want to vibe, or you're in a car ride and you just want to vibe differently? And I understood that, like you had mentioned before, I work with a lot of youth,
Young, right.
and most of their challenges when they talk about Christian music, they say it's kind of boring. But it's not boring. Maybe it's not for the atmosphere you're in at the time or for your age range, but we can create something that would balance it. We can create something that would make you encouraged to also participate and partake of this gospel kind of music.
Okay, would it then be right to say that your target audience are young people, people who want to vibe, like you've used many times, people who want to, listen to clean music, but also still want to do it in a relaxed or a pattern mood, and not necessarily things that you're listening to and you're not getting fulfilled. So your target audience, would you say, are the young people? So young at heart now necessarily does not have to do with age. So is this also very deliberate because you work with a lot of young people, and you've also seen that perhaps the space isn't too safe for them to connect with their spirituality?
I would say that the music targets everyone,
Okay.
young, old, like you said, young at heart. So it doesn't have to do with age. However, the older people, when I say older, I mean people in like their 80s, right? They might not necessarily want to jump up and dance, right? They might frown a little bit at how fast paced the song is, or we did not hear what they said. They are rapping too fast or something like that. But for younger people that actually want to listen to rap, that actually want to listen to hip hop, Afro pop, and they would be able to relate better, right? And I know that there are a bunch of other artists too that are trying to come into this light of music for young at heart people, young people, youth, and middle-aged people too,
Okay.
generally.
Right.
So yeah.
I know you're Yoruba, and the song that we watched just before we came in is the title "Devil You Lost," just to be sure.
Yes.
Okay, so I got that correctly. It's a devil you lost, right? So
Devil.
do you sing only in English, or do you also have a mixture of the language, either Yoruba language or other languages that you're comfortable with, or you learn while trying to sing a song? And if you do, how has that helped, you know, in your message of spreading the gospel, or deliberately are you also sticking to just English language in your music?
I'm definitely not sticking to only English language. So there was a song that we had released last year. Yes, August last year. It's called Victory Dance. There's a little bit of Yoruba inside, you know, say a little bit of Adura Tiba, you know, things like that. We do put it in there. There's another song that has a little bit of French in it,
Okay.
right? So it's more circular. It's not just for the Yoruba community. So if we don't know what happens in the next couple of weeks, I might be putting some Igbo lyrics in it or Hausa lyrics in it,
Okay.
right? But as long as we're able to pass the message, communicate properly, I think I'm open to learning diverse languages and singing in all those languages too.
So you do music. Do you do music full time, or this is part time for you?
I would say it's part-time because I also have my full-time job.
Okay, so this is part time. So if you look at so it's more than a hobby.
Definitely.
It is, right. So, but does it take care of some bills? Because when you look at music, so many people, or some people do music for what it generates. Some people do music for, they're not particular about whether or not it will bring in money, but just because they know they are touching lives. But for you, where do you stand, especially because this is not your full-time job? But I'm sure that you still expect some kind of, maybe not royalty, but some kind of, you know, funds coming in from your music. So what are the deliberate efforts that you make or you put in ensuring that at least no do, some money will still be generated from this?
Okay, so honestly here, music is beautiful, but it's only sustainable if you have the passion for it.
Okay.
It's only sustainable if you feel that you have a message to put out there and it's important for you to drive it. It's not as rewarding as we might expect it to be, as someone that is not in the industry would expect it to be, especially for gospel artists. I'll say maybe here in Canada, but I have a passion for it. I have a message. I'm very passionate about growing, and I'm very passionate about growing and making sure that we grow right.
Okay.
I'm passionate about making sure that we give all the necessary tools to our people to help them develop the way we want them to develop in the Lord, right? So it's not about the money. And definitely when we go for events, there's always a, how much do you charge? I'm like, you know what? Sometimes I do charge depending on the event. If it's like a gated event, definitely, right? If it's not a gated event, if it's just like, oh, a worship session or an event in a church, it's not gated. They just give us royalties and they say, thanks for coming. Here's a
Okay.
package for you, which is usually a very nice package. But yes, so it does pay some of the bills.
Right. So when we also go back and we look at the kind of lyrics that we have in music today, vis-a-vis what the gospel artists are doing, are you also paying attention to using your music to create awareness on social vices and moral issues, especially on how the world is today, where you know there's so many things going on, and you ask yourself, how did we get here? So when you look at your music and what your music does, is it just about preaching the gospel, or do you also take your time out to write lyrics that are also able to teach moral vices point one in the right direction as to the kind of lifestyle one should also live, since you're also very close to, the youths?
I would say yes and not totally yes,
Okay.
in the sense that I might not go into the details of things that happen in the country or around the world in details in my lyrics, but the part that I generally want people to understand is it's possible to rise above this. It's possible to come out stronger from every challenge you have faced. People have faced worse challenges and they came out stronger. People are going through challenges and they're just looking for that little bit of hope to take them through that challenge and bring them out victorious or successful in that challenge they're facing. So I might not go into national matters, I might not go into social matters, but I would always put lyrics there that would make you know that things happen. People like devil you lost, people say a lot of things. And most of the things that people would say are not what you're expecting. And I feel it's a lot of challenge that people face generally when people just talk you down, people step on you. I think those are challenges we face. And then it's possible for you to say, okay, I'm done with this. I'm past this. I can grow and be successful and make something of myself. So the lyrics are usually to encourage you that you can pass through hard challenges. You can go through life and still come out grateful, come out successful.
Right. So collaboration is also very key, and that probably also is the new currency in town, cutting across, sectors, entertainment, music, and all of that. Have you collaborated with any gospel artist? Are you looking at collaborating with any gospel artist? And how does this really work when it comes to the music sector?
Okay, so I would like to refer back to something you had said earlier, that a lot of people do music for different reasons.
Absolutely.
Some do it for just the money. Some do it for the fact that they have the voice and they just want to put it out there. Some people do it because they have the passion. Some people do it because they have the calling, right? So as per collaborations, I did collaborate with a rap young artist, Daytohun, right, on two of my songs. And others, sometimes you want to collaborate, but when they tell you, oh, you can collaborate with me, but first of all, go and bring $10,000. In your mind, you're calculating how much have I made, how much do I plan to make on this song? How much have I made? How much do you think this, how far do you think this song will go that you want me to pay $10,000 ahead, right? But I'm always open to collaborations. I'm always open to working with people. I'm a very people person. So, collaboration, I'm open to it. I love to join others, share stages, and make music together. We're working on a couple of other collaborations at the moment, but not everyone is actually willing to just collaborate without a price on it.
Ah, okay. So, musical videos are also, and by the way, I love the quality of that video that we saw earlier on. And so, what goes into making a beautiful video? Because again, you think of so many things when it comes to making videos. So, what are some of the things that you look into when making videos? Especially when it comes to, I think I must have seen, what's his name? I wrote, is it? Let me not mention here. I think I saw somebody in that video. Maybe you can tell me who that was. I saw someone in that particular one. So take us through what goes through when, you make videos. What kind of sacrifices do you make to come up with such beautiful videos?
God has been good. That's what I would say first. God has been good because He always surrounds us with people that want to be a part of the video. Most of the time, when we want to do videos, we have to we make plans and then we have to tell people that I'm sorry, we can't take you on this video. Maybe we take you on the next video. So having people in the video is not a problem. However, we always try to set a budget. okay, for this video, this is our budget. And you would not believe it if I told you that that video, the one you just saw, was shot with a phone, right?
Oh, wow.
And yeah, it was shot with a phone. But you know, when the little that God has given you, you're able to navigate it perfectly. What does He do? He gives you more. So I'm open to receiving more. We work on our videos. We make sure we try to strive for excellence in our videos. Make sure it's not shabby and what more of what people want to see.
All right. Before we allow you go this morning, what message do you have for young, especially young people out there who are facing the rough patches of life at the moment? What's your message to them, especially since you are also one who preaches a lot of hope with your music?
First thing I'd say is don't get tired in doing good, because sometimes as a young person you want to do good, and because it's not appreciated by people that surround you, you tend to want to go the other way. Don't get tired of doing good. Even the Bible tells us so. You would come out better. You will come out stronger. The Bible says, "Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning light." So don't get tired. Keep doing good, and when the reward comes, it will be well deserved and more than you can imagine.
All right, on a lighter note, Daytohun, any of your kids join the path of doing music?
Daytohun is my son.
Ah,
Yes,
yeah. Okay, fantastic. Again, you're passing on the baton, which you also got from your family. Okay. Thank you so much, Daytohun, for speaking with us on the program this morning. And we wish you the very best in your journey ahead.
thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Of course, we've been chatting with our guest all the way from Canada this morning at Daytohun Ogunremi, known as Daytohun. Of course, you can connect with her on all social media platforms if you'd like to, take this conversation further than this. And you can also watch a repeat of this on our YouTube page later in the day. We'll take a quick break. When the conversation returns, Adebimpe and Joy will be here with their Lagos conversation. And trust me, it is another conversation that you should sit through.